and welcome to our series, Our Great Awakening. In this series, we hope to explore concepts around spirituality, especially in the modern age, especially in this challenging 21st century world that we find ourselves. But first of all, we need to nail down a few important concepts.
Yes, we do, Declan. We need to get our heads around a certain number of points, because they're very important. And first of all, I want to draw your attention to a fairy tale, one of Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tales, The Emperor's New Clothes, because that is showing very clearly how we are led to believe in something that does not actually exist. And for those of you who don't know the story, it's about a very vain emperor who was very aware of how he presented himself to his people, very aware of his clothes and what people thought of him. And these pair of swindlers decided to take advantage of him. And they promised him that they had this wonderful material, they could make him a wonderful new suit of clothes, but only to be seen by people who are not stupid. People who were stupid would not be able to see the clothes. So everybody bought into this. And they all decided to go along with it because it would show them what to be stupid if they didn't. And the emperor thought this was great because it would show up the councillors in his court who were stupid and he would be able to get rid of them. So he got dressed in the clothes and he went around the town and everybody cheered and admired the wonderful set of clothes. They all bought into it because they didn't want to appear stupid. And a little boy shouts out, "But the emperor's no clothes on," and the whole thing fell apart. A typical example of how everybody goes along with something rather than be seen to be maybe different or to be seen to be stupid, and how they're buying into something that does not actually exist. And that's what's happening to us today. Now I want to refer you to Joseph Goebbels, Hitler's Minister of Propaganda in the Third Nazi Reich. His official title was Minister of Education. So you get the message: education and propaganda synonymous. Okay, and this is what Goebbels said. First one, the truth is the greatest enemy of the state. Second one, if you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it. That's what's happening today. And at Nuremberg, when he was on trial, he was asked, well, how come all the Nazis bought into this? All the German people bought into this? And his reply was, it's nothing to do with Nazism. It's nothing to do with communism. It has got to do with humans. It's the human mind. If you can control the narrative, you can control the human mind. And if you control the human mind, you control the actions. And here are some words taken from the Gospels. First one, ignorance is the cause of all evil. And secondly, there is nothing hidden that will not be revealed. Now let's look at some words of Hitler himself. First of all, how fortunate it is for governments that people do not think. And the second one, through clever and constant application of propaganda, people can be made to see paradise as hell, and also the other way around, to consider the most wretched sort of life as paradise. And that's taken from Hitler's own book, Mein Kampf, written in 1923.
Well, that's a huge point, Eileen, and I think it's very, very important to highlight also, if you think that you're not susceptible to this manipulation, you could well be wrong. For instance, Stanley Milgram in the late 60s and early 70s carried out a study just on that concept. Why did the German people follow Hitler so avidly? And he discovered that through careful manipulation of people, individual people from all over the world, that they can be made to take a person to the point of death just through the manipulation and obedience to an authority figure.
Yep. And we're all being subjected to manipulation through language at the present point in time. Have you seen the latest Ryanair ad on television, Declan?
Oh, absolutely shocking. Vax and go.
Look what that's saying. It's giving you the impression, leading you down the belief that you can't travel until you get the vaccination. That's what it's making you think. But they're not actually saying that. But they're making you think they are. And have you seen the Jet2 holidays one? Get the jab. Yeah. And if your plans change, so can your booking. Well, we tried that last summer when we tried to get our money back, but we weren't allowed because the airline said they were flying, so we weren't entitled to our money back. It's what they're not saying is as important as what they are saying. It's like a child coming home and telling its parents, I got 9 for maths. And the parents think, this is great, come on, get your wee present. He hasn't told them it's 9 out of 100. They think it's 9 out of 10. He hasn't told them a lie, but he hasn't given them enough truth, enough information for them to form the right truth. We are not being told enough to give us the proper truth. Okay, and let me refer you to history now. History is lies, Declan. It's deceit. It's manipulation. We're only getting the perspective of the ones who are victorious. We're not getting the truth. History has been manipulated to get us to think along a certain way again. Napoleon Bonaparte said of history, what is history but a fable agreed upon? And the French philosopher Voltaire said, history is a set of lies agreed upon. And George Bernard Shaw, in The Devil's Disciple, said, history, sir, will tell lies as usual. And Churchill, famous Winston Churchill, history will be kind to me because I intend to write it. Now, are you getting the message? We need to get these messages here. We need to get the messages. It's time for us to waken up and to realise that we are not being given the truth, that we are being propagandised. And one of the main channels of propaganda, Declan, as we all know, is religion. And their main weapon is fear and guilt. We are buying into fear and guilt. It's like the salesman who comes to your door and tries to sell you something. You don't want it, but you buy it anyway he goes. And then you look and say, am I stupid? Why did I do this? You are not stupid. He is just extra good at his job. He has been specifically trained to sell you that thing. Same as the politicians are taken away on training courses and they're trained to how to avoid answering the question, to spin everything around to the way they want it. We have been absolutely suffocated. We are sinking under all this propaganda. We're suffocated by it. And Leonardo da Vinci, we'll end with him. What did Leonardo da Vinci say? There are 3 classes of people. Those who see when they are shown, and those who do not see. And we are aiming these videos we're doing at those who see when they are shown. The ones who will not see, there's no way we can go through to them until they waken. So we are aiming at those who see when they are shown. And next week, Declan, we will be talking about, next video, we'll be talking about energy.
We're talking about energy in the next one. And obviously energy for anyone of a spiritual mindset is all about everything. Energy, frequency, vibration. That is everything. And we'll be pursuing some of those concepts in that next one.
Yes. And not just what energy is, but how energy works. And not just about what energy works, not just about what energy is and how energy works, but also how we work the energy. There's no point in having a lawnmower if you don't know how it works. Okay? And we're going to make a big jump here. This is a big, big jump. We've got to jump. We're not pushing you and making you jump. We are jumping with you. And Declan, I've just volunteered Declan to jump first. We're going to follow Declan. You know where you're going, Declan, don't you?
Absolutely.
So join us again in a few days' time when we will start the whole in-depth stuff about energy. So until then, namaste.
Namaste.